Baoyou, there's something wrong with your knife. Don't lick it. The thing that eunuchs used to castrate in the previous dynasty, it seems like at least 10,000 people have been beheaded. Hey! Don't vomit in the store. Baoyou, there's something wrong with your soul-summoning bell. It seems that your printing hall has turned black. Have you been having trouble lately? What's the cheaper way to handle it? Just prepare a ashes box when you go back, maybe you don't need to deal with it anymore. Ning Fan travels through time to become a descendant of an antique family, carrying the curse of seeking wealth and activating the divine-level treasure appraisal system. He originally intended to steadily collect and make money. I didn't expect to go further and further on the road of live streaming treasure appreciation when something was wrong. Keywords of the novel. Live treasure appreciation. Baoyou are not right, there is no pop-up window. Live treasure appreciation. Baoyou are not right, download the full text. Live treasure appreciation. Baoyou are not right, read the latest chapter. Chapter 1. Friend, this knife doesn't want to be licked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Friend, this knife doesn't want to be licked, little boss, why did you say online that my knife was wrong? Tiandu City, Panjiayuan Antique Market. As soon as Ning Fan opened her eyes, she felt that something was not quite right. Isn't it that I'm watching Tian treasure appraisal? Why did I take a nap and still travel through time? The antique shelf, case, tea table, and appraisal tools in front of us are arranged in a neat and orderly manner. You can tell at a glance that it's an antique shop. But what's going on with the shirtless man with a tattoo all over his back and a strangely looking knife in his hand in front of him? Watching the blade strike towards my head. Ning Fan only had time to shout out a word and say it well. With a buzzing sound, my mind fell into a deathly silence like an explosion. Then countless memories were instilled in. Ning Fan instantly recalled everything. This Earth-star world has astonishing similarities in historical, cultural, and economic development trajectories with the Earth, and there is not much difference between some historical celebrities and events that should have been there. The original owner is a descendant of an antique family, but his strength is average and he can only work as an appraiser in his own store. When I have free time, I start a live stream to help my friends watch something. I have seen some things before and there are no issues. But I didn't expect today an older brother who looked very social to show him a strange-shaped knife. Originally, Ning Fan wanted to directly say that there was nothing to see about this thing. But the elder brother gave a lot of appraisal fees, directly brushing 1,000 yuan, and said that this is an old thing passed down from the family. Ning Fan also changed her mind from the heart. Big brother, this knife is a precious one. Up can kill gods, down can slay demons, a divine artifact that humans and ghosts fear. Anyway, when it comes to earning money with a touch of red mouth, white teeth, and upper and lower lips, it's not embarrassing. I didn't expect it to turn into something as soon as the words were spoken. Big brother, this knife is not right. Although there are few people in Ningfan's live broadcast room, it has also accumulated thousands of fans over such a long period of time. With this statement, Big Brother has become angry. What's wrong with the knives of the people on the street? That's what's wrong with people. Saying you can't do it in front of so many people. This can't be tolerated. The Big Brother came to ask why something was wrong. With a clang. A peculiar iron knife, resembling a sickle and a bone-chopping knife, struck the table, and the identification table of the old water willow was filled with sawdust. Little boss, just online, you said this knife is not right. Now take a closer look, is it still okay? Ning Fan swallowed her saliva. The knife is on the neck, I have to be right. Just about to speak. Ding, detected that the host is carrying the curse of seeking gold, meets the conditions, and the divine-level treasure appraisal system has been activated. Newcomer reward. Divine-level identification technique, can identify any item, task. The popularity of live treasure appreciation has reached 100,000, and rewards the complete collection of Earth star culture, covering all recorded information since Earth star's civilization. The current progress is 0/100000. Please make efforts to authenticate and upgrade the system's subsequent functions. Just a few simple prompts, there was no movement afterwards. At this time, Ning Fan was still operating a live broadcast room. Baoyou looked at Ning Fan's state and started teasing him in the barrage. The anchor couldn't be scared to pee, could he? I think it's possible. It's normal for a normal person to be a bit scared when they see such a knife in front of them. And, this knife looks a bit sinister. Live streaming room friends are scrolling bullet comments. Ning Fan swallowed her saliva and looked back at the strange knife in front of her. At this glance, I immediately realized something was wrong. Previously, he could only see that this knife was from the Ming and Qing dynasties, and no matter how much it was, he wouldn't recognize it anymore. With the support of the system, the information of this knife is as vivid as it is engraved in the mind. The Ming dynasty pure body knife was forged from refined iron 500 years ago. It is exceptionally sharp and has been passed down from generation to generation. It has dealt with the power of 10,000 men and carries its own evil energy, with the inscription, Mighty, engraved on it. Ning Fan blinked and became excited. Before traveling, I was a titanium alloy fan of various treasure appreciation programs. From Everyday Treasure Appreciation to Cultural Relics Conference, that's a never-ending issue. With the support of the system now, if there were that Earth Star Culture complete collection again, it would definitely take off. Think about the scene where picking up leeks is easier than drinking water in the future, with collections piled up in mountains. Ning Fan couldn't help but laugh out loud. As for the curse of seeking wealth, I didn't care at all. With the system in place, are you still afraid of a curse? Impossible. Hee hee. Ning Fan laughed. Friends in the live broadcast room shook their heads as they watched the scene. Unfortunately, I finally had a treasure appreciation anchor, which scared me crazy now. I guess I'll admit it when I speak up later. Forget it, it's not interesting. It's better to watch the neighboring girl drive. The car lights are a big thief. Is the car headlight big? If you say that, I won't be tired anymore. It seems that Baoyou is about to quit. Ning Fan suddenly spoke up. Baoyou. Your knife, it's not right. All the friends who are about to launch will stop moving. This anchor seems a bit tough. It's a bit interesting to say that even with the knives hanging around my neck. My dear friends are not so eager to see Miss in an instant. All are waiting for Ning Fan's next statement. Little boss, please speak up to me and say, what's wrong with my ancestral knife? The shirtless man picked up a knife and spun it around his full back tattoo, then extended his tongue to lick the blade, with a bloodthirsty expression on his face. If you can't say it, don't blame me for being ruthless. Ning Fan watched the big man's movements and his mouth twitched as he quickly blocked the way. Baoyou, your pure body knife, it doesn't want to lick it. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Ancestral things may not necessarily be serious. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Ancestral things may not necessarily be serious. What is a close-up knife? In the live broadcast room, the friends are all a bit strange. They have heard of willow leaf knives, yenyu knives, park knives, machetes, watermelon knives, only haven't you heard of close combat knives? Is there still a saying about the far body knife? A friend suddenly realized. Brothers, I got it. You see, this handle is so short that it's not as big as a kitchen knife when held in your hand. That must be a close-range knife. If it's like Guangong's knife, it's a long-body knife. Ning Fan looked at Baoyou's barrage and exclaimed, good guy. This is more than I can say. If it weren't for the impatience of the strong man beside him, Ning Fan would have wanted him to continue speaking. Cough cough, dear friend, your imagination is very good, but what you said is completely wrong. You may have misheard. I'm not talking about distance, it's about cleanliness. This knife is a pure body knife. Now everyone has heard clearly. What's the distance? I don't understand, I just want to know, what's wrong with this knife? Ning Fan calmly looked at the big man beside her. Brother, you said this knife is ancestral, right? That's right. When it was passed down, did you tell me what this knife is for? That's natural. Our ancestors were officials during the Ming and Qing dynasties, and the blade was engraved with the words mighty, which was our ancestors' previous title. And I also know that our ancestors, who were once known as enemies of 10,000, must have been a fierce general. This knife is his personal weapon blade. I wear this knife all year round to let my ancestors know that the family's martial arts tradition is still ongoing. I will definitely not disgrace my ancestors' reputation. Let this powerful sword once again make a name for itself in the world. Puff. Ha ha ha. Ning Fan couldn't help but laugh when she heard this sentence. I'm sorry. Haha. I'm a professional. Haha. If not. Haha. I can't help but. Haha. What does it mean? The strong man beside him lowered his face and had a strong posture of pulling out his sword at a word of disagreement. Live streaming room enthusiasts are also urging Ning Fan not to play tricks. They don't have any problems with this knife, do they? Baoyou, remember one thing. Things passed down from ancestors may not necessarily be serious. This pure body knife is designed for ancient men who wanted to enter the palace. Speaking of which, he specifically found an old photo online. This is a photo of a clean room taken by foreign journalists during the Qing dynasty. Look at the knife on the left side of the photo, is it the same as Baoyou's? That's really it. It can't be said that they are exactly the same, only that they are exactly the same. The barrage of bullet comments brushed by, and Ning Fan nodded slightly. Isn't the man who wants a palace a eunuch? Why do eunuchs use this thing? Do they still need to defend themselves? The strong man frowned. The live streaming room friend even stopped the barrage upon hearing this. Baoyou's idea is very unique. Ning Fan doesn't know how to explain. Some people still can't bear to watch, so they proactively remind them. Big brother, what the anchor means is, this thing is used to stab the eunuch, not for the eunuch's own use, understand? What was your recent move? The strong man's scalp tingled as he remembered his previous move. Don't vomit in the store. Ning Fan was quick-witted and immediately pushed the strong man outside the house. Nausea. In the live broadcast room, everyone showed sympathetic gazes. Normal people can't accept this result, can they? And judging from the proficiency of the strong man just now, I don't know how many times he licked it. TSK 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 TSK. Is there a psychological shadow here? Ning Fan stood at the door, feeling a folding fan from somewhere in her hand. Shake your mouth. By the way, my dear friend, this purification knife has always been passed down in the purification room. Only when more than 10,000 people are beheaded will they be engraved with the words mighty. So, your ancestors are really enemies of 10,000 people, but the enemy's location is not quite right. Nausea. The strong man had just stood up and upon hearing this sentence, he bent down again and vomited so much that even bile came out. 10,000 enemies, mighty, he swore that he would never hear these two words again in his lifetime. And this knife. He won't see it again. In the live broadcast room, all the friends were dumbfounded by Ning Fan's words. Lying on the trough, the divine is so special that it can defeat 10,000 enemies. The anchor's explanation is too showy. Why didn't you notice that the anchor's strength was so weak before? Poor with only money left to reward Rocket X1, it's a bit interesting. Are the anchors still looking at things? Otherwise, we'll have another one. Ning Fan was very calm when she saw the feedback. Just kidding, I've seen too many treasure appreciation scenes before. This kind of thing in front of me, it's a small joke. Taking advantage of the current popularity, complete the task of live streaming treasure appreciation. However, general appraisal is unlikely to attract people. By the way, Ning Fan suddenly came up with a solution, took the sign, wrote it in beautiful thin gold font, and hung it by the seat. Paid treasure appreciation, no category limit, one mistake pays 10. Hush. Friends in the live broadcast room took a deep breath of air conditioning. The anchor's tone is too loud. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. One mistake pays 10, it's a great opportunity to make money. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. One mistake pays 10, it's a great opportunity to make money. Compensating 10 for one mistake is the solution that Ning Fan came up with. There are many people who live stream treasure appreciation. Free treasure appraisal without strength, whether the appraisal is correct or not, everyone doesn't care, just for fun. Those who have some strength and are recognized for their paid appraisal, but they require stricter standards. But no one has ever dared to say the slogan of making a mistake and losing 10. And there is no limit to the type. There are definitely people who eat crabs and those who watch the excitement want to see things. With my current popularity, I estimate I will be able to charge up soon. My friends are not sure about Ning Fan's plan, but they can recognize the characters. They quickly asked Ning Fan to explain clearly that this mistake is worth 10 for 1. What is the saying? Literal meaning, paid appraisal, appraisal error, appraisal fee 10 times compensation. By the way, today's cumulative appraisal fee calculation. If the last one goes wrong, I will compensate for the first one. After Ning Fan finished speaking, she brewed a pot of tea and leisurely waited for the business to come to her doorstep. I've been fishing like this, so I don't believe there's no one in the live broadcast room to try. The live streaming room friends couldn't hold their breath when they heard this. It is not difficult to enter the field of antique appreciation. After all, ceramics, jade ware, calligraphy and painting, bronze ware, and miscellaneous items are only 5 categories at best. The era is only as long as 5,000 years. What's difficult is to master. Something you don't know is unrecognizable when placed there. Not to mention various imitations. The later dynasty imitates the former dynasty, the present dynasty imitates the present dynasty, the folk imitates the official imitates the official, and the folk imitates the folk. A great collector once spent 300 million yuan on a fragment of, along the river during the Qingming festival, at an auction, only to find out that it was a replica of Xiao Ming from the Ming dynasty. From the material to the use of pen and ink, everything was restored according to Zhang Zedwan's situation back then. Even international level appraisers did not see the problem. It was only after sending it back to China that Shan Qiyu, the head of the ancient palace museum, discovered the problem. International appraisers may make mistakes, don't even talk about these live streaming treasure collectors. Moreover, Ning Fan still accumulates compensation. If this is the wrong one, take off directly. The live broadcast room suddenly exploded. Bao friends all took the initiative to bring people over to watch the play. In just 10 minutes, Ning Fan saw that the audience in her live broadcast room exceeded 10,000. Although there is still a considerable gap compared to the task requirements, it is already very good for him. The new friend doesn't know what happened. Seeing Ning Fan calmly drinking tea and shaking the fan, they all barrage to inquire about the situation. The old audience is very calm. Direct guidance. Watch the replay. So, a few minutes later, the Baoyou who watched the replay started scrolling again. Anchor Nyobi. Sure, it's so beautiful. Nyobi only said it once. There are only 2 types of people who dare not restrict the category of treasures. There are 2 types. One is truly strong, and the other is brainwashed. Baoyou looked at Ning Fan's age and instinctively felt that it was the second type. So, the barrage began to stir one after another. Brothers, this opportunity to pick up money, if you don't rush, will I rush? 10 times the compensation, if we take out 10,000 yuan, I will be the new model tonight. You go first, what if this anchor really has some skills? The audience in the live broadcast room is not sure about Ning Fan's strength yet, so they plan to wait for a scapegoat to come up and try the water. One mistake pays 10. Is this statement true or not? Don't lose and then default. I won't do it. Ning Fan spoke lightly. When everyone thought that Ning Fan was going to provide proof of property, they heard a light floating sentence. How could I possibly lose? It doesn't exist. In the live broadcast room, all of Guo Wanbao's friends were stunned, unable to say a word. After a while, I finally realized. Direct call anchor Nyobi. People don't speak too harshly. At this moment, some friends couldn't resist it anymore. I'll do it. A group of old men are so busy that they don't even do anything to earn money. 1 Leaf 7 Stings Cool Reward Rocket X1, a woman with an average appearance appears on the screen, gently flicking her hair. Anchor, I have something here that I would like you to show me. If I don't see it correctly, do I have 10 rockets? No, it's not. Ning Fan gently shook her head. Looking at Qi Liang Baoyou's pale face, Ning Fan stopped teasing her. You don't have a live broadcast, so I can't get you a rocket. If you lose, I'll just send you a red envelope of 100,000 yuan. All the friends in the live broadcast room began to swallow saliva. It seems that Ning Fan has already sent out a red envelope. Qiliang Baoyou also smiled brightly. That's settled. Anchor, take a look at this thing, how about it? As he spoke, he untied a leaf-shaped jade pendant from his neck. The color is emerald green, and the water head is full. Treasure friends can see through the video that it is not an ordinary thing. Isn't this a scoring question? So simple. It's not like the anchor invited it, is it? Many friends sighed. I'm not asking, and I'm not asking about the material or water head of this thing. I'm asking about the location of this thing. Anchor, you wouldn't say that this is not within your scope of treasure appreciation, would you? The entrance to the audience. Live streaming room friends are all amazed. He's a ruthless person. Jade has always been produced in the Jade country on the southwest border of Xia country. And there are over 100 jade gates over there, big and small. This 7 Liang treasure friends question is too tricky. Who would a normal person know about this thing? Even Ning Fan's face turned pale. Everyone burst into laughter as they watched the screen and said, "Great, the anchor fell for the first time. Hurry up and find someone to get the money." End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Dushan Jade, that's also Jade. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Dushan Jade, that's also Jade. Live streaming room friends are shaking people one after another. Other treasure connoisseurs or jewelry anchors are all watching the era and water of Jade over there. There is no interesting way to watch Jade here. And there's also a gimmick of losing 10 for one mistake, go for it. With such a promotion, the number of viewers in Ning Fan's live broadcast room exceeded 30,000 in just a few minutes, and it is still continuing to rise. Qiliang Baoyou chuckled and revealed his tiger teeth. Anchor, I'm sorry. If it weren't for my recent lack of money, I wouldn't have done this. Don't worry, when I have money, I will still give a reward back. But when will the red envelope be sent out this time? I can't wait any longer. The new audience in the live broadcast room also urged Ning Fan to quickly identify. There are still many people in the barrage who support Qiliang Baoyou. Don't worry, beautiful woman. We'll testify to you. If the anchor doesn't give you money, we'll rush into his live broadcast room. Beauty, if you receive this money for 10 million, send a red envelope. Don't worry, as long as the anchor doesn't default, I'll be happy too. The barrage urged Ning Fan to hurry up one after another. Yeah, anchor, you can't waste everyone's time making money. What if you don't know a few tips I'll give you? Qiliang Baoyou chuckled. The best locations for the Jade Country are Damakan, Hojiang, Huika, Nanchi, Mwanji, Moxisha, Muna, and Pagan. My fiancé specially made a 7-leaf jade pendant for me by selecting materials from one of the 8 major venues in order to propose. Anchor, guess which one it is. In the live broadcast room, the friends were even more excited when they heard this. Anchor, hurry up and choose. You've narrowed down the range of beautiful women. Don't you know if you can choose 1 out of 8? If we don't choose, we'll all run away. Ning Fan ignored the barrage and her gaze fell on the black question mark around Qi Liangbao's neck. The Dushan Jade leaf pendant is 26 mm long, 15 mm wide, and approximately 6 mm thick. It is emerald green in color, with a delicate texture and extremely high transparency, similar to jade, and has a glassy luster. This thing is not even jade. Live streaming room friends thought that Ning Fan had been stumped when they saw this, and immediately booed. I thought I just saw how powerful the clean body knife was. It turned out it was a blind cat hitting a dead mouse. Anchor, this thing is a bit harder to mask than the knife just now, don't worry. Don't argue, in case you lose later, it's your fault for talking too much. All the friends in the live broadcast room have the idea of watching a play. There are also a few old fans of Ning Fan who are holding their hearts and supporting Ning Fan. Anchor come on, we believe in you. Big, I'm a jewelry professional. Based on my intuition, this looks like something with a wooden mouth. Otherwise, would you consider it? Don't make things worse, let the think for himself. Ning Fan looked at the barrage and nodded slightly. Baoyou, don't panic. Actually, I've already seen it, but I'm afraid saying it might scare you. Friends instantly burst into laughter. I don't know how big my skills are, but my mouth is quite firm. Don't worry, Anchor. We're absolutely not looking for you if we're scared to death. Right. I've already moved the bench, just waiting for you to say. Anchor, hurry up. I'm still waiting for the whole army to launch a surprise attack. Okay. Seeing that the treasure friends didn't take it seriously, Ning Fan directly spoke up. The material characteristics of several major markets in the Jade Country are very obvious. The skin and flesh of Damakan are thick and mixed, usually with a mixture of mist and water. The material of Hojiang has a thin skin and a gray-green-yellow color. It is divided into front, back, and Hojiang, and is generally distinguished by size, with more green and high emerald colors. Huika, Nanchi, Mwanji, Moxisha, Muna, Pagan. These materials are all different. Just 3 minutes. Ning Fan commented on all the characteristics of the materials used in the 8 major markets of the Jade Country. Everyone in the live broadcast room was dumbfounded. Isn't this very familiar? What was the anchor hesitating about just now? Just say it out loud, okay? When you become familiar with it, you may not necessarily be able to tell. What if this is theoretical knowledge? Yeah, I can tell you're not necessarily right either. After all, one knife is poor, one knife is rich, and one knife wears linen. Those who really have this vision, isn't it good to gamble on stones? Why bother to discern treasures here? The treasure friends were discussing, and all the 7 Liang treasure friends became anxious. Anchor, you've said so much and haven't told me which scene this pendant is from yet. Baoyou, why don't you ask your fiancé first? Are you sure this is from the 8 great estates? No need to ask, he definitely won't deceive me. Anchor, hurry up and say it. Yeah, don't let the little girl wait, the anchor should say it quickly. Hurry up. Okay. Ning Fan let out a slight sigh. Baoyou, this jade pendant is not quite right. It doesn't look like it's from the 8 Great Gates, but rather from the Dushan Gates. What does it mean? Ning Fan's words fell, and the entire live broadcast room was in a daze. Where is Dushan Jade? Why haven't they heard of this place? Baoyou, Dushan Jade is located in the Dushan mining area of the Central Plains province of Xiao dynasty. There is a specialty of Dushan Jade, which is also called Dushan Jade because its properties are similar to jade. If you have anything to do with jade, that's all. Understood. Ning Fan didn't forget to mend the knife after finishing speaking. As for the price, I estimate you can have 2 cups of milk tea. Remember not to add too many ingredients. Otherwise, I'm afraid this pendant won't sell enough for milk tea money. Upon hearing this, the live streaming room friends all sneered. A good person added too many ingredients and didn't sell enough milk tea for money. This is just a slap in the face of the red fruit. It's impossible. You're talking nonsense. Qiliang Baoyou had an angry expression on his face. This is clearly a jade pendant. How could it be? What is it? Dushan Jade. The live broadcast room was also in an instant uproar. Good guy, the jade pendant has been identified as Dushan Jade. The anchor is a ruthless person. Dushan Jade. There's such a thing. Qiliang Baoyou trembled with anger. In the live broadcast room, a friend suddenly issued a work permit. Sister, I am a national-level jewelry appraiser, and I have seen the entire process just now. If you believe me, you can take some closer and I'll do an appraisal for you. My friends gasped for air when they saw this certificate. National Jewelry Association First-Class Jewelry Master. This is an honor that few people in the entire Xia country can obtain, and I didn't expect that there would be such a big shot in Ning Fan's live broadcast room. Send their knees to the big shots one after another. Qiliang Baoyou also raised the pendant to the light as if he had caught a savior, and carefully displayed it. The video was quiet for a few seconds, followed by a slight sigh. The anchor is right, this pendant is indeed from Dushanyu. Just now, because it was too far away, I thought the anchor had read it wrong, but I didn't expect it to be because I didn't excel in my studies. If you are not confident, you can go to the institution for further appraisal. Of course, the probability is the same. How small is the small probability? Almost none. After saying these words, all the friends in the live broadcast room were dumbfounded. Surprisingly, it is truly a Dushan Jade. Looking at Ning Fan again, sitting at the table brewing tea, he seemed not surprised at all. And deliberately raised eyebrows. In fact, Ning Fan is watching the popularity of her live broadcast room, and the progress has reached over 40,000, which is less than half of 100,000. Looking at this progress, it seems that it will be completed soon. Ning Fan felt a joy in her heart and shouted. Baoyou, next one, is there anyone else watching? End of this chapter. Chapter 5. When the soul summoning bell rings, Xiao Ming must cool down. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. When the soul summoning bell rings, Xiao Ming must cool down. This the live broadcast room's friends are all muttering. The first one is by chance, can't the second one still be by chance? Moreover, Dushan Jade, which is so similar to jade, can be clearly distinguished through the screen. This anchor has 2 brushes. For a moment, no one dared to take the initiative again. Ning Fan shook her head and sighed inwardly, saying that there were too few people in the live broadcast room, otherwise there would be no need for such trouble. Someone would have been willing to challenge them long ago. Isn't it? There's not even one who can fight. Ning Fan deliberately exaggerated and asked. Just as I finished speaking, I heard a familiar voice. Big brother, this is the anchor. He just said that my knife is not right. Yes. It's a eunuch doing that. Looking up, the strong man who had just licked his clean body knife came over with an equally fierce man. A scar runs diagonally through the entire face, making it difficult to provoke at first glance. The man sat down with a golden sword and looked at Ning Fan with a smile that was even more terrifying than crying. Listen to my brother, little boss, you are very good at seeing things. I have something here that I also want to trouble you to take a look at. As he spoke, his gaze caught a glimpse of the wrong sign, and he pouted. I see it this way and it's also a loss, right? In the live broadcast room, Baoyou saw this scene and all asked if they wanted to help report the case. This seems to be coming to find fault. Ning Fan suddenly laughed. Just now, I was worried about how this popularity came about. Isn't this just the perfect time? Immediately wave your hand and say. Baoyou, what are you talking nonsense about? The visitor is the guest, how can we talk about reporting a case? And he didn't do anything to me either. Hurry up and have your friends come over to see the treasure appreciation. After speaking, he nodded towards Scar's face. Baoyou, what do you want to see? Here, I collect money to see things. I make 10 out of 10 for every mistake, and both the old and the young are fair. Okay. The man neatly took out 10 bundles of money and placed them on the table. This is 100,000 yuan. If you're optimistic, it's all yours. If you can't see it, this shop is mine. As he spoke, he opened his hand and revealed a pitch-black bell. What do you think of me, boss? With a slight shake of the palm, there was a clanging sound, which made the friends sweat profusely in the broad daylight. Ning Fan's gaze fell and she took a clear look. The soul-summoning bell, a traditional artifact passed down by the deceased in Xiangxi during the Qing dynasty, can be used to guide the deceased. The bell has a circular shape and 3 Buddha heads, representing the past, future, and present Buddhas. The bell body has arhat and embossed lines of spells. When shaking, it can produce a ring sound that makes people hallucinate. Spell. Xiangxi moves spirit, yin people pass through, xing people avoid, go. Looking back at Scar's face, I noticed that his forehead was slightly red and swollen. Immediately smiled and spoke up. Baoyou, there's something wrong with your bell. This thing is authentic and old, it hasn't been used by many generations, so it doesn't have this color. Moreover, this is the soul-summoning bell used by the Xian men in the Qing dynasty. When this bell rings, your life will be cold. Has something happened recently? Like a car accident. As soon as the words finished, I heard a loud scream. Master! What a master! How did you tell that I had just had a car accident? Ning Fan didn't explain, grabbing the bell and shaking it. Ding ding, ding ding, the bells ring ding ding. Move the treasure in the hands of the spirit, let the dead walk, let the living avoid. Ding! Ding dang! 2 bells rang, and Scarface and the recently pure-bodied Dao Baoyou suddenly rolled their white eyes, as if they were dementia. Get up! Ning Fan spoke up. The 2 slowly stood up at the same time, staring blankly at the void in front of them, roaring softly. Turn! Ning Fan spoke again, the bell in her hand ringing. Both of them turned stiffly at the same time and jumped up with a bang. Let's go! With another command, everyone in the live broadcast room suddenly felt shivers as they watched the footage. Scarface and the licking knife man both bounced towards the door. Ning Fan sat behind the table, reciting words. The spirit of Xiangxi is moving, the yin people are passing through, the living people are avoiding, go. The spirit of Xiangxi is moving, the yin people are passing through, the living people are avoiding, go. The higher the sound, the lower the temperature inside the room. There was a faint sound of sobbing wind. The friends in the live broadcast room all felt something was wrong, and their scalp was tingling one by one. Anchor, stop reading it, I feel like there's something on me. What do you mean by having something? I feel like I'm about to stand up. Hee, my family's ancestral Buddha jade plaque is getting hot. In the live broadcast room, friends compete one by one with their magical tools. Ding, special item soul summoning bell detected activated, the curse of gold has been activated. The cold warning sound came on. Ning Fan's body suddenly twitched. In an instant, countless small black veins suddenly appeared on his arms, spiraling and extending towards him. The whole person instantly felt like falling into an ice cellar, with needles piercing their entire body. The bell in hand also fell to the ground with a loud bang. Dang! After a sharp loud bang, both inside and outside the live broadcast room, everyone returned to normal and couldn't help but shiver. Looking at the screen, my teeth turned sour. Just now. Did you feel anything unusual? Drowning. I feel like I'm almost drowning. Me too. It's still cold, the cola next to me has become chilled. The live broadcast room was chatting with friends, and the barrage suddenly became eerie. Just now the anchor said this is a soul summoning bell, can't it be? Did Ah Piao come out? Don't talk nonsense. How could there be Ah Piao at noon? A friend wanted to refute, but suddenly couldn't speak up. How could this situation be explained if it weren't for Ah Piao? The Scar Man and the Licking Knife Man also regained consciousness and fell to their knees with a bang. Master, help me. They are too clear about their situation just now. That kind of consciousness is half asleep and half awake, completely out of control, and can only listen to the commands after the bell shakes. They have no doubt that if Ning Fan just said, die, they would directly throw themselves out and crash to death. Looking at Ning Fan like a deity now, I dare not have any ulterior motives. Ning Fan put away the bell and tried to remain calm. Baoyou, I just said that this bell is used by the Xian men to summon souls. Actually, there is nothing special about it, but the patterns and shapes inside the bell are specially designed. When combined with a spell when it sounds, it can involuntarily immerse people into a hypnotic state. It's like advanced white noise. What I just recited was the spell of this bell. I said you had a car accident because I saw a knot on this thing, which looks like it's hanging in the car. Without any spell stimulation, this soul summoning bell can only disturb the mind. But if it goes on for a long time, it may also lead you into the scene just now. So, that's why I said when this bell rings, Xiao Ming will cool down, understand? And there's also a question. Ning Fan suddenly stopped speaking with a smile on her face. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Copper rust stains on hands, just wash it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Copper rust stains on hands, just wash it, I'll go. Everyone in the live broadcast room listened attentively, and when they suddenly arrived here, it was as if they were suddenly dumbfounded halfway through. Holding my breath, I don't know where to go. The barrage immediately dominates the screen. Anchor, let me tell you, if you continue to do this, you will definitely do something wrong. Once upon a time, there was a eunuch, but there wasn't one down there anymore, you understand. Anchor, have you seen this rocket? I won't give it to you even if it explodes. Ning Fan remained calm at all. Isn't that because you were too addicted just now and haven't regained your senses? Since you've all woken up, I'll say it. Baoyou, take a look at your hands and see if there's anything there. What can I have on my hands? Sleeping slots. Scared Face exclaimed in surprise. The live broadcast camera was pulled over, and everyone was also dumbfounded. Scar Face has 3 Buddha faces in his palm. Green and emitting a chilling light. Hush. Everyone gasped for air. Watching the Buddha's face shiver uncontrollably. This thing is not right with him. Anchor. What's the situation? Yeah, I also want to ask if something seems to be wrong with this thing, right? What kind of anchor is it called? From now on, call me Master Ning. The live broadcast room friend spoke up, and the entire live broadcast room immediately responded. Yes. It's Master Ning. Master Ning, you must tell us about this situation. Isn't it a curse? I have read a lot of materials before, saying that ancient Xianmen masters would leave curses on their relics, and once touched, they would die within a few days. Look at the Buddha's head on Scar Treasure's hand, it may be a curse. And, if you look closely at this Buddha statue, it seems to be like 3 skulls. Upon seeing this, my friends immediately looked over carefully. Stuck in place, shivering all over. The 3 Buddha heads in the palm of the Scar-Face Treasure friend's hand indeed looked like 3 skulls gathered together. How could this good Buddha statue become like this? My friends were all surprised. At this moment, someone suddenly spoke up in the live broadcast room. Is this the Buddha's head curse? The crowd suddenly froze when they saw the speaker's identity. I'll go, it's actually Taoist Gu Mingzhang. This is currently the most famous Taoist in China, proficient in feng shui, physiognomy, divination, and other things. I am the apprentice of the White Dragon King. If I go outside to see something, the fee starts at 7 figures. A group of people are now asking Gu Mingzhang what is going on with this Buddha head. Dear friends, the Buddha's head curse is a record I saw in the sect's secret scroll. There is a saying in Buddhism that goes red powder skull, which warns people not to be addicted to appearances and to see the essence of things. And a high monk made a Buddha statue based on this illusion. At first glance, the Buddha's head may not appear dignified and majestic, but once it reaches night, it will turn into a skull. This Buddha statue is the famous Skull Buddha statue. In Buddhism, it is also a controversial thing. Legend has it that there are only 2 outcomes when encountering this Buddha statue. One is to fully comprehend the principles of Buddhism and achieve great enlightenment, the other is to be entangled with demons and lose all cultivation from then on. Later, this thing disappeared into the long river of history and disappeared without a trace. Just now when I saw this thing, I felt a bit eerie. A typical soul-summoning bell cannot have this power. Baoyou, this is causing big trouble. To handle it thoroughly, it is necessary to have a small 7-digit number. Please ask the expert to perform a purification ritual. After all, the scientific community has not figured out the exact situation behind this curse, and there are indeed people who have left because of this kind of thing. Be careful, my dear friend. After Gu Mingzhang finished speaking, Scar-Face Baoyou immediately changed his expression. 7-digit numbers also put a lot of pressure on him. Gu Daochang, can't this be cheaper? Cheap, of course you can. Gu Mingzhang smiled slightly and said, just buy an urn. Maybe you don't need to deal with it, you can just use it to solve the problem. Everyone in the live broadcast room turned cold. They never expected that this treasure appraisal would be in danger of their lives. Of course, you can also ask others to see if there are any cheaper ways to handle it. But it's still early for me to recommend. I have it. After listening, Ning Fan suddenly spoke up. The water enthusiasts in the entire live broadcast room were stunned. Isn't Master Ning a treasure appreciation anchor? How can we even solve this mystical matter? Are you serious? Scar Baoyou immediately became excited upon hearing these words. Master Ning, really? You must save me. I don't want to die. Life and death are at stake, and a scarred face doesn't care about face, kowtowing like pounding garlic. After a few moments, I suddenly realized. Take out another envelope from the bag and hand it over. Master Ning, the previous one was the appraisal fee, and this one is the handling fee. Please make sure to take action to save me. In the live broadcast room, the friend looked at the thickness of the envelope and cursed at the old fox. Judging from this thickness, it's only around 40,000 to 50,000 yuan. Compared to the 7-digit number mentioned by Gu Mingzhang just now, it's like not spending money. Unexpectedly, Ning Fan opened the envelope and only pulled out one of them. Baoyou, your question is simple. You can't use so much money, that's enough. This. 1. What a joke. Not to mention that my friends don't believe it, Scarface is panicking on its own. He understands the principle that you get what you pay for, and the more money you have, the easier it is to get things done. Just now, Gu Mingzhang's 7-digit number is really too many. But when it comes to the 3-digit numbers on Ning Fan's side, he's not calm anymore. He thought it was his recent move of disliking the high price that left a bad impression on Ning Fan, so he quickly changed his mind. Master Ning, actually. I just feel that Gu Daochang's 7-digit number is too expensive. This. Tens of thousands of yuan, I can still get out of it. Master Ning, you must save me. I know. Let go. No matter what he thought, Ning Fan picked up a bottle of hand sanitizer and squeezed it in. Rub it. Scar-face friend was completely dumbfounded upon hearing these words. This is a curse, what's wrong with pouring out a bottle of hand sanitizer? Kuning Fan has already said it, and he dare not do it. I can only rub my hands hard. Within a minute, I heard Ning Fan's voice. Alright, let's take a look now. Fade. Fade. Scarface exclaimed excitedly. Hands lit up, and the mark on the skull Buddha's head just now had indeed faded quite a bit. Master Ning, what principle is this? All the friends in the live broadcast room became curious. The first time I heard about hand sanitizer breaking the curse. What curse? This is what copper rust green has infected. This thing is authentic from the Qing dynasty, but someone took it back and made it old again. On the surface, this is the residual dye from aging. It is made with natural dyes and copper powder, which is an old method of making old Qiu Jiao in the Qing dynasty palace. It is now completely invisible on the market, so no one knows. Just wash it and it will fall off. As for Gu Baoyou's curse, there is also such a thing, but it's not like that. What does that look like? Everyone became curious. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Dragonstone Jade Ring with Small Value Goals. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Dragonstone Jade Ring with Small Value Goals. The thing, curse, although recorded in history, belongs to the realm of metaphysics. However, upon careful analysis, there are still traces to follow. For example, the most famous pharaoh's tomb curse, where anyone who enters must die. At first, everyone thought it was the pharaoh's curse, but later scientists cracked this secret. Originally, it was caused by the internal structure of the pyramid, and the air became thinner as it moved inward. When reaching the critical point, people will suddenly faint. Afterwards, it will gradually enter a state of brain death under low oxygen conditions. In ancient times, people were unable to carry oxygen into pyramids, so the idea of a curse taking effect was born. This statement has also spread. The reason why the food stored in the pyramid can stay healthy for a long time is also very simple. There is no oxygen, and it's also low temperature. Isn't this environment similar to your refrigerator? The pyramid country has a dry climate, so it's normal for things to stay fresh for a long time. Even in northern China, it can be preserved for a long time. This is a very normal phenomenon, so don't think curses are very mysterious. Sometimes it's just a psychological pressure. After Ning Fan finished speaking, there were suddenly more barrage screens in the live broadcast room. Master Ning competes in high school. Take it easy. I'm not afraid of curses right away. So that's what happened, I learned it. Scar-face friend was also stunned as he listened for a while, then swallowed his saliva and ate. So. Master Ning. Is that enough for me? Not yet. Scared face suddenly changed color. Your color hasn't faded completely yet, at least you need to wash it well for a few more days. By the way, this thing. Ning Fan lifted her hand and shook her scar face twice. Unexpectedly, Scarface turned around and ran away, with the sound thrown far behind. Master Ning, just keep it. I won't take this thing anymore to avoid any further trouble. As the words fell, the person was already 100 meters away. The live broadcast room friend looked silly. Wow. I'm afraid we can break 8 seconds to run 100 meters at this speed, right? Indeed, human potential is infinite. Ning Fan looked at things and remembered the curse situation just now. She silently took the bell and planned to study it carefully after it was over. So, is there anyone else looking at things? Yes. I'll do it. A barrage was emitted, and a huge golden emperor icon suddenly popped up in the live broadcast room, and everyone saw a prompt. Emperor user Wang Yugui entered the live broadcast room. The comments in the live broadcast room suddenly exploded. I'm going. I've witnessed a miracle. Emperor Wang Duyu actually came. Wang Duyu. Who is it? Isn't it true that even the Emperor Duyu doesn't know him? The most amazing gold medalist in the entire Kunlun live broadcast. There are tens of millions of emperors just in various live broadcast rooms, not to mention rewards. Last year during the live broadcast ceremony, I promoted a live streamer named Xiao Ming, but she threw a lot of money and threw 10,000 rockets in one night. Later on, the movie Tomato City's Richest Man became popular, and everyone called him the Emperor of Duyu. Ning Fan also saw the prompt and nodded lightly as a greeting. One mistake pays 10, pay the appraisal fee first when looking at things. The water users in the live broadcast room were all dumbfounded when they saw this scene. Other anchors either warmly welcomed the arrival of Emperor Duyu or resorted to using bold tactics. Why doesn't Ning Fan follow the routine here? Still collecting money. I really don't know if it's too brave or too foolish. If you make one mistake, you'll pay 10, but most people will accept it, right? That's right. Okay. After Wang Duyu finished speaking, there was no news for half a day. Everyone didn't know what Wang Duyu was doing when suddenly they saw a row of bullet comments on the screen. Emperor user Wang Yugui rewards Rocket X1, Emperor user Wang Yugui rewards Rocket X1, Emperor user Wang Yugui rewards Rocket X1, the tips for tipping jumped 100 times, and everyone watched the amount of tipping in the live broadcast room silently swallowing their saliva, sighing with emotion at the bold move of Emperor Duyu. Such a casual move would cost 1 million. Ning Fan's eyes suddenly lit up. Just now, the system indicated that his task of 100,000 popularity had been completed. Detected that the popularity of the host's live treasure appraisal has reached 100,000, and the complete collection of Earth star culture has been distributed. Then, Ning Fan fell into a moment of chaos. Just a moment. Countless knowledge covering astronomy, geography, biology, culture, folk customs, and other aspects fills his mind. If it weren't for his preparation, he would have been dementia in just this moment. But when he regained his senses, he couldn't help but feel ecstatic. With this knowledge, as long as everything recorded on Earth is engraved in his mind, the humanoid library may underestimate this reward, it's just a humanoid database. Check which one to use. There's nothing he doesn't know anymore. Live room friends thought Ning Fan was knocked unconscious by the 1 million yuan reward. Everyone giggled and ate. I didn't expect Ning Fan to just nod calmly. Baoyou, I have received the appraisal fee. What do you want to see? That's it. Wang Duyu directly took off a trigger from his hand. This is something I passed over from the old man. What kind of quality do you want to see? As soon as the things were displayed, everyone was blinded by the table. The entire desktop is golden and translucent, with hidden golden threads in the texture, resembling mountains and rivers, flowing like waterfalls. Jinsi Nanmu. The live streaming room friend exclaimed out the material of this table. Wang Duyu nodded in response. Ah, it seems to be made of golden Nanmu. Anyway, the tabletop was made of large pillars that were exchanged from the palace back then, and it has been hundreds of years. It's not important. Let's take a look at this trigger. Everyone took a deep breath and cursed mercilessly as they listened. This desktop alone is worth $1 million, and it can be said that it's not important. Indeed, people are more popular than people. But the gaze on the trigger became even hotter. The entire finger is delicate and verdant, with faint patterns forming a dragon and phoenix shape inside, and a scattered dragon pearl in the middle. Good thing. Everyone in the live broadcast room sighed as they watched the trigger. With their eyes, they could tell at a glance that this trigger was a good thing. Full of crisp drops of green, with dragon and phoenix patterns inside. This thing, at least it's a glass with a positive shade of green, right? What kind of vision is that? At least these are all ice-type imperial green rings. Let me tell you, this thing is top-notch high ice. In the live broadcast room, friends were arguing endlessly. Ning Fan raised the corner of her mouth and shook her head slightly. Baoyou, it's not worth guessing. Dragon stone jade, rare to see in 1,000 years. This trigger is probably worth a small target. What? Dragon stone jade. A small goal. The entire live broadcast room was instantly boiling. Everyone was eagerly looking at the screen, wanting to hear what was going on with this dragon stone type jade. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. How are things used by eunuchs again? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. How are things used by eunuchs again? They all know about jadeite and know that they need to look at the color and the variety. Just now, my friends mentioned that ice and glass are the seeds of jade, while Xingyang and Emperor are the colors of jade. Glass is transparent as a whole, without impurities or cracks, making it the best type of common jadeite. Ice is less transparent and belongs to a slightly inferior variety. Emperor green is full of green and colors, just like emerald, and is the finest among jadeite. Usually, the best jade is nothing more than high ice imperial green. The water and color have reached the top level. This kind of jade can be sold at a sky-high price even for simple rings. Not to mention the one in Wang Duiyu's hand, it naturally contains patterns of dragons and phoenixes playing with pearls inside. It's not an exaggeration to say the shocking treasure. But dragon stones and jadeite, they really haven't heard of it. Can't it be Dushan Jade again? Now everyone is urging Ning Fan to quickly talk about it so that she can learn more. Baoyou, Longshishong Jade is different from Dushan Jade. One is towering, the other is nothing. Whether it's the 8 major jadeite gates or the small gates mentioned earlier, the types of jadeite are generally divided into 2 types. Mountain jadeite and water jadeite. Zhongshan jadeite refers to the jadeite that is extracted from the mountains as raw jadeite. Water jadeite is a type of natural stone found in water. The original stone of Rongshou jade is the only cave jade. The probability of production is extremely low, with only one dragon stone type appearing out of tens of thousands of jadeite raw stones. By the way, the name, dragon stone seed, was given by Emperor Qianlong. Qianlong. My dear friends were completely stunned when they heard this. What is this about Qianlong? During the Qianlong period, Yunnan province presented a pair of dragon stone bracelets as tribute. Qianlong accidentally discovered that this bracelet had different hours and colors every day, so he asked someone what kind of jade it was. Only the orthodox jade at that time was Hotan jade, Lantian jade, Dushan jade and Xiaoyu, and jadeite was not a kind of jade. Moreover, Yunnan province refers to this type of jade as dragon stone dragon species, and insiders are afraid of offending it. Some people took advantage of Qianlong's joy to explain, and Qianlong chose to use the homophonic sound of the word long to name this jade as dragon stone species, which gave rise to the later title of King of Jade. The unique geographical environment gives Longshishong jadeite unique characteristics that other jadeites do not have. Bo Zhong Huasei, Qian Kun in the ice. What does it mean? The first time the live broadcast room friends heard about this thing, they were all curious and asked. As the name suggests, Baoyou live color. Dragon stone jadeite is a type of glass, and live color refers to the color of dragon stone that is not fixed. Under light, it will have a cat's eye effect like tiger's eye stone, and it will also have fluorescent colors at night. The concept of qiankuan in the ice refers to the presence of ice streaks inside the dragon stone type jade, which does not affect the transparency of the glass type and also has different patterns. At the time of Emperor Qianlong's reign, the dragon stone bracelets contained a combination of mountains and rivers, symbolizing the eternal stability of mountains and rivers. It's just that it's a bit worse than the dragon and phoenix in this ring. It's noon now, full of green. The dragon and phoenix pattern in the middle should be blossoming. By the way, Baoyou, put that finger in a transparent water glass. Let me show you something good. Ning Fan suddenly spoke while speaking. In the live broadcast room, everyone listened without knowing what Ning Fan wanted to do. Wang Duiyu took a cup with half a doubt. Throw it in casually. Next second. The water friends in the entire live broadcast room are all foolish. A green light rushed out of the cup, illuminating the entire water glass with a refreshing green glow. I'll go. What the hell is going on? How could the trigger light up on its own? How was this done? Find a sunny place to put it down. Now Wang Duiyu didn't doubt it either. Ma Lu found a balcony and placed the cup by the window. This is nothing. Lying down. Wang Duiyu exclaimed in surprise, and the cup was instantly knocked to the ground. Dear friends, as they listened to the shattered sound, their hearts began to tug at each other. This is a dragon stone seed. A small target of dragon stone species. If this breaks, it's just a small goal gone. Wang Duiyu quickly went to see his own trigger. In a few seconds, take a long breath of relief. It's okay, it's just a broken cup. Let me show you what Master Ning said. Wang Duiyu had unknowingly changed his name. Everyone also looked carefully at the screen, wanting to see what scene caused Wang Duiyu to accidentally drop his cup. Sunshine falls, green light spreads everywhere. A complete scene of dragons and phoenixes playing with pearls appeared on the ground. The water cup shakes. The dragon and phoenix seemed to have come to life and began to fly around the middle bead. Sleeping slot. Everyone in the live broadcast room was dumbfounded by this scene. They had no idea that such a situation would happen again. Everyone took a deep breath and watched the scene quietly, daring not to take a single breath. Afraid of shattering this scene. After a while, Wang Duiyu collected the cup. Put the trigger back on. Master Ning, what do you think of this thing? Live streaming room friends are all foolish. Isn't this something visible? They all know about the dragon stone jade ring. How does Wang Duiyu mean? Do you still have to forcefully say that something is not right? Wang Duiyu smiled and shook his head. Baoyou, which of you only mentioned the material during the appraisal, without even providing any other information? If that's the case, I can also start live streaming treasure appreciation. Anyway, this is a porcelain bottle, and this is just a bronze sword, right? Master Ning has a good eye, but I haven't even mentioned the origin of this finger. So, why don't Master take another look? No need. Ning Fan waved her hand, calm and composed. Everyone was stunned. What's going on? Is Master Ning planning to resist forcefully? Still thinking, I heard Ning Fan's voice. Just look at things once is enough, look at them twice, it's a waste of time. The jade ring of the late Qing dynasty's Rongshou variety contains natural patterns of dragons and phoenixes playing with pearls inside. The inner wall of the ring is carved with auspicious cloud patterns, and the third cloud has a Yao character imprint. The ring, with an inner diameter of 2.2 cm and an outer diameter of 2.5 cm, was bestowed upon Li Lianing by Empress Dowager Cixi and later disappeared from the hands of Yao Houwang, a jade carver at the Palace Craftsmanship Office during the reign of Emperor Daoguang. Ning Fan looked back at the news she had just seen and spoke directly. The last famous owner, ordered by Empress Dowager Cixi, was Li Lianying, and the calligraphy of Yao Ho Wang from the Qing Palace Construction Office. Where did your old man get this thing from? Ning Fan took a sip of tea and asked in a leisurely manner. Upon hearing this news, Baoyou couldn't help but twitch his lips. Li Lianying's. Why is it something that eunuchs have used again? No, the focus is on eunuchs. The focus is on Empress Dowager Cixi. Isn't this a round-off or a royal trigger? Get rich. So ruthless. Everyone in the live broadcast room couldn't think of what to say. Wang Duyu was stunned for a moment before suddenly exclaiming in surprise. Wait, it's not right. Master Ning, why do you say that this is something that eunuchs have used? End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Diary of Princess Rongshou Gulun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Diary of Princess Rongshou Gulun. It's not that I said it was used by eunuchs, there are really historical records. Ning Fan nodded earnestly. Hiss. My dear friends have a toothache. This is outrageous. They originally thought Ning Fan wanted to add some legendary color to this thing. I didn't expect that there were really historical records. Wang Duyu was also foolish to listen. Really? This incident was recorded in the Qing Shilu, but it is written very simply. The records in unofficial history are quite detailed. Of course, this is also recorded based on the accounts of people around Li Lianying and Prince Gong. This trigger was originally the beloved item of Gizi 6. Gizi 6. Someone in the live broadcast room doesn't understand who this is. As soon as the question was asked, there were friends answering questions on site. Isn't it? Does anyone really not know about Gizi 6? The sixth son of Emperor Daoguang, one of the 12 families of the Qing dynasty, was Prince Gong, who helped Empress Dowager Cixi's coup. The reason why he was called this nickname was that he was clever at that time, and he often had to deal with foreigners when he presided over the westernization movement. I won't talk about these. The trigger was originally used to assist archery, because during the Qing dynasty, it was required that the children of the 8 banners have the ability to ride and shoot, so most legitimate flag men would wear it. Later on, everyone followed the trend, regardless of whether they were civil officials or military commanders, they all put on the trigger. This trigger can be used for both civil and military purposes. Most of the articles are exquisitely crafted and decorated, while the martial ones have a plain halo. Prince Gong got this material back then and only made a plain martial finger. But when Li Lianying saw it later, she thought it was good and asked Cixi for it. After returning, I had the jade carver in the palace change to this. This is the context behind this trigger. This how could it be? All the friends in the live broadcast room were stunned. Is this story too magical? Baoyou, this is not fabricated, it was recorded by one person. Who? Princess Rongshou. As soon as this name was given, the vast majority of friends immediately became confused. I haven't heard of it. The last princess in the draft of Qing history, the eldest daughter of Prince Gong, is also the true last princess of the Qing dynasty in the eyes of many elders. Dare to argue with Empress Dowager Cixi, dare to curse Puyi's father, possess the purest royal etiquette, and have the greatest extravagance. If we use a monologue from a movie for a paragraph, it would be: I am the last princess of this dynasty, with the purest royal bloodline flowing through me. My grandfather was the ruler of the entire Qing dynasty, and I have witnessed the final glory and madness of this empire. I have personally buried the emperor and empress dowager, and I have also crossed 2 centuries and dynasties. Seeing the transformation of this land, I am the unique and impossible Princess Rongshou Gulun in this world. As soon as Ning Fan speaks this paragraph, instant bullet screen flashing. Master Ning, your monologue is so amazing. How about considering becoming a celebrity? What kind of celebrity? Can you speak? Master Ning's foundation is at least an artist. Moo, is this why one can rely on talent to make a living, but rely on strength to make a living? Occasionally, there are also a few tips floating by. Ning Fan watched as the barrage calmed down before continuing to speak. This story is recorded in Princess Rongshou's diary. As the daughter of the protagonist in this story, even if there are some areas where she helps her relatives but doesn't care, the overall storyline should still be true. But the pattern inside this trigger. Ning Fan looked at the comment and chuckled lightly. After wearing it for so long, Gizi Lu didn't realize that it was actually a picture of dragons and phoenixes playing with pearls to bring good luck, which was a cheap deal for Li Lianying. This can only be said to be a matter of time and fate. However, antiques are like this. When it's lucky, dog-headed gold can be found inside the mound. When it's unlucky, even the 5 emperors' coins at hand are all considered scrap copper. Previously, it was not reported in the news that some foreign fishermen found more than 10 kilograms of dragon saliva fragrance at the beach, which costs over 5 million yuan when converted to market value. This is luck, I can't even stop it. Everyone listened with envy. When will it be their turn to have such good luck? By the way, Baoyou, I have a way to break even and get rich. Do you want to hear about it? Speak up. I heard Ning Fan say this. Except for Wang Duiyu, who was born with a diamond spoon, everyone else is not tired anymore. Introduction to Master Qiu Ning. Surprisingly, there is such a good thing. Master Ning, hurry up and say it. Hurry up. The barrage flashed across the screen, and Ning Fan spoke faintly. You deposit 10,000 yuan in Alipay and use interest every day to buy welfare lottery tickets. We can guarantee a minimum of 5 million without losing money. How's it going? The entire live broadcast room was quiet for a few seconds. Can you really come up with this? Human affairs. But it seems really feasible. I've learned, I'll go buy lottery tickets tomorrow. Do you have a kind-hearted person to support a group of lottery numbers? You're such a good guy, can all of this support you? The live broadcast room instantly fell into ridicule. Ning Fan ignored these things and smiled at the screen. Duiyu Baoyou, did you see it this time? Calculate. This is really a calculation. I'll give the old man a new one when I come back. The eunuchs thing, I don't like it. As he spoke, he put the trigger aside and didn't look at it. Everyone in the live broadcast room watched this scene with envy and didn't know what to say. They are still working hard here for 5 million. Others have already disregarded small goals, it's extremely excessive. Before he could regain his senses, Wang Duiyu brought out a new thing and sent it to the camera. Master Ning, I still have a small item here. Could you please help me take a look? I took this thing out of my study at home, I don't know whose it is. I see a hole hanging as a key pendant. Show a jade plaque while speaking. The base of Hotan jade is particularly exquisite, with different lines on both sides. On the front, there are 2 tangled and entangled eyeless golden snakes, unable to distinguish between the head and tail, surrounding an extremely standard jade pattern. On the opposite side is a curved text with 8 extremely fine strokes. At first glance, it looks like seal script, but upon closer inspection, it is completely different from any seal script text, with a hint of mystery in mystery. There is a small hole at the top of the jade plaque, and now he is wearing a string of keys. Ning Fan looked at the sign, and information surfaced before her eyes. The jade Qingwei token passed down by the Qingwei sect in the Song dynasty was ordered to have 2 sides 3 inches and 2 centimeters high, a top arch of 2 centimeters, a width of 1 inch and 4 centimeters horizontally, and a thickness of 5 centimeters. Zhao Yun, Emperor Lizong of the Southern Song dynasty, bestowed upon Huang Shunshan, the 9th generation leader of the Qingwei sect, the supreme tool of the Qingwei sect, which can ward off evil and nourish qi and concentrate the mind. There are cracks on the jade plaque that have formed for no more than 3 days. Seeing this, Ning Fan frowned and said in confusion. Baoyou, have you been feeling down lately? End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Scientific Face, Don't Feudal Superstition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Scientific Face, Don't Feudal Superstition. Something's wrong, what does it mean? It's just encountering danger, and then you're fine. Speaking these words, Gu Mingzhang, who had just remained silent in the live broadcast room, reappeared. Master Ning, you're not quite right. I see Wang Duiyu's precious friend like this, with a full haul, straight mountain roots, square mouth and red lips, and a jade-like face. This was at least the position of the 9 ministers in ancient times. This is a blessing, usually without illness or disaster. And this jade, if I'm not mistaken, is also a good treasure of our sect. It has been passed down for at least 3 or 4 generations and is blessed with magical power. With this protective device, even in a car accident, there won't be any problem. Master Ning, you said that Baoyou encountered a problem, but that's not nonsense. The tricks of a swindler are not feasible. Everyone in the live broadcast room found the live broadcast interesting. Other live streaming rooms are all monologues of the host. Surprisingly, there is someone here to accompany Ning Fan in singing a duet, and he is also a well-known Taoist in China, Gu Mingzhang. Isn't this even more exciting than the legend of Bo Ren? Friends are calling out to come and watch. And just now, Wang Duiyu's rockets also attracted many people to come over. With the title of Emperor Duiyu and the rocket trumpet, Ning Fan's live broadcast room has already reached a popularity of 200,000. It can only be said that money can make ghosts grind. Ning Fan is a bit regretful. The system hasn't released any tasks yet, so I thought there might be some rewards for increasing popularity. Now it seems that I have overthought it myself. Looking up at the screen, Gu Mingzhang had already drawn out a photo book to explain. Dear friends, in terms of appearance, we need to start from several directions. Firstly, we need to start by rejecting the complete feudal superstition. Just as Gu Mingzhang spoke, he suddenly heard this sentence, and he almost choked to death while holding his breath. Who said it? Me. Ning Fan raised her eyebrows and looked at the screen, without explaining, continuing directly. Baoyou, first of all, we need to clarify that the concept of face-to-face has a certain degree of feudal superstition. Nonsense. Upon hearing these words, Gu Mingzhang couldn't help but scream. Master Ning, you're talking nonsense about physiognomy. With so much experience in ancient times, there are also many cases that are correct. Are they all unfounded? How do you explain this? Everyone in the live broadcast room is also curious to hear this answer. I didn't expect Ning Fan to ask back. When did I say face-to-face was nonsense? I'm just saying that this simple combination of appearance and luck is feudal superstition, but it doesn't negate facial recognition. On the contrary, I personally believe that facial recognition is actually a great technological invention. The water users in the live broadcast room were stunned when they heard this. Master Ning, what does this mean? On one hand, it is said that physiognomy is a feudal superstition, and on the other hand, it is said that it is a technological invention. Can you still hit your own face like this? Gu Mingzhang laughed as he listened. Then listen attentively and listen to Master Ning's high opinion. Baoyou, Xiangmian is actually the earliest application of big data by ancient people. As soon as Ning Fan spoke, the live broadcast room friend instantly became foolish. Puff. Countless people who drink water spray it out in one gulp. So outrageous. Laughing happily. Master Ning, this treasure appreciation is not interested in using hot technologies. All the friends in the live broadcast room laughed and joked, thinking that Ning Fan was just joking. I didn't expect Ning Fan to burst out laughing. What's the joke about this? Baoyou, if you think carefully, you will find that the words in the face are similar to the words used by big data to label people. The printing hull is full, the printing hull turns black, the printing hull turns green. These words are actually no different from like Sichuan cuisine, like Shandong cuisine, like Hunan cuisine, in your big data. Big data suggests that you like Sichuan cuisine and buy a plane ticket back to Jincheng every year during the Chinese New Year. Your phone number is often located in Jincheng, so it is inferred that you are a single dog. Do you think it's okay? No problem. Many friends instinctively nodded and then realized something was wrong. Shent, this is a single dog. Master Ning, you're a shrimp pig heart. No wonder my shopping website associated me with the airplane cup and exposed it. Don't explain upstairs, you're not the one to blame for XP big data. Ning Fan's friends discussed enthusiastically and continued to speak up. In fact, ancient facial expressions also have similarities and differences with this place. The living conditions in ancient times were harsh, making it easier to see differences in people's classes and identities than it is now. Most people wear linen clothes, and only a few can afford silk and satin. And there used to be no other way to have money. Shi, Nong, Shang and Shang, the middle two can be worn but cannot afford it, while the last one can afford it and is not allowed to wear it. This basically naturally divides class nature. What was the first thing I asked you about measuring characters' faces before? What? Bao friends couldn't figure it out, but Gu Mingzhang let out a faint snort. Writing. That's right. Ning Fan nodded in satisfaction. In ancient times, the literacy rate was completely different between those who could write and those who could not. After this division, there is no need to worry at all. After the arrival, those who can write and dress well, scholar. Those who can write and dress moderately, those who come alone, scholar. Those who can write and dress moderately, those who follow a group of people, merchants. Once you've identified your identity, it's all about talking to people, ghosts and ghosts. Being handsome means having a full and radiant appearance, like a crown of jade, and the appearance of a nobleman. Being average in appearance means being stable and carefree. Being crooked in appearance means having a bumpy career and ups and downs in love. These abilities don't need to be face. I'm afraid those who have worked in human resources for a few years can do well, right? I really can't write PPTs for a few years now, can I? That's why I say face-to-face is big data. Ning Fan finished speaking. All the friends in the live broadcast room were speechless. Ning Fan's words may seem nonsensical, but after carefully savoring them, she realized that the more she thought about them, the more right they became. And Baoyou sighed on the spot. I wonder why every time I ask about marriage, I don't even need to speak up to know that my love life is bumpy. It turns out my face is ugly, it hurts my heart. Master Ning, you're so heartbreaking. After listening to Master Ning's analysis, I no longer believe in fortune-telling. Ning Fan finished speaking and looked back at the screen. After explaining the matter of face, I would like to talk about your question. Gu Daochang, you just said that Duyu Baoyou's appearance is very wealthy and prestigious. I said you were mistaken, do you believe it? Impossible. Master Ning, even if your analysis is correct just now, the mnemonic passed down from our lineage over many years will never go wrong. Besides, I am also a disciple of the White Dragon King's sect. It is still impossible for Master Ning to make me give up if he wants to be so carefree. Unless, Master Ning, you have evidence to refute me. Evidence. Yes. End of this chapter.